Welcome back to another video, and if you're new here, don't forget to press subscribe. So today I'll be talking about how I make my schedule at work as a nurse. Of course, I am a full-time employee, so I work 3 12-hour shifts every week. Like I've said in a previous video, seniority is everything when it comes to nursing, so the nurses who have been on the unit the longest get to make their schedules first. We have 3 different groups. The first group would be the nurses, of course, who have been here the longest. I believe it's the group of nurses who have been here for 10 years or longer. The second group would be the nurses who have been there for less than 10 years, which would be my group. And then the third group would be the per diem nurses. We make our schedules every 6 weeks, and we do it for a 6-week block of time. The schedule coordinator will send us an email letting us know that the schedule will open up soon, and the email will tell us when our group gets to do it, so what day and time we get to sign up. The first group will sign up, and then 3 days later, my group signs up, and then 2 days later, the final group signs up. So my group signs up, like I said, every 6 weeks, and it's typically on Thursdays at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I always try to make sure that I'm not working on the days that I have to make my schedule, because it can be like a little crazy. It's kind of like the Hunger Games. If you remember what it's like to sign up for college courses, you know how you would have to wake up when it was your group's time to sign up, and then you would have to rush and do it and try to get the classes that you want before all the slots is filled up. That's kind of how it is. It's not always super crazy, but if you wait too late, you may not get the days that you want. So like the last time we signed up, I was 20 minutes late and I got a terrible schedule. But we also tried something different where we did 4 groups instead of 3, so it pushed me back a group, and that's kind of how I got stuck with a crappy schedule, and I ended up having to work 5 days in a row. But now that didn't work out so well, so we're back to our 3 groups. Alright, now let's talk about the requirements for our schedules. Once again, seniority is everything, so if you have been on the unit for over 10 years, you don't really have requirements. As long as you do your 3 shifts a week or however many shifts, depending on if you're full-time, part-time, per diem, they're happy. So I still do have the same requirements that I started off with when I started the job last year. So I have to work 3 Mondays, 3 Fridays, and 6 weekend shifts. So like I said, we do it for 6 weeks at a time. So if I'm working 6 weekend shifts, I'm basically having to work 3 weekends out of the 6 weeks in total. So weekend shifts include Friday night, Saturday day, Saturday night, and Sunday day. So I like to work Friday nights and Saturday nights back to back, because that way I'm knocking out a Friday and a weekend shift. So the nurses who have been here longer, like 3 to 6 years, they don't have to work as many weekend shifts or as many Fridays. And the nurses who have been here even longer than that have even fewer requirements. And of course, this is just for my unit. I don't know what it's like on other units, but I have heard that nurses on other units only have to work like every 3rd weekend shift rather than 6 weekend shifts like we do on my unit, which sounds nice. I wish we were like that, but I mean, what can you do about it? So yeah, having to work 6 weekend shifts is a lot. My group kind of just got stuck with it. I have heard that once you've been here for like a year or so, they used to change it to where you only had to work 5 weekend shifts, but unfortunately for my group, we're still working 6 weekend shifts, which makes it kind of hard to have a social life on the weekends. But like I said, what can you do about it? So when you make your schedule, you can also use your PTO like I described in my previous video, or you can also request days off. So let's say I have a cousin's birthday party to go to on Saturday. I will click that Saturday and I will click request off. That does not mean that I'm only working 2 days instead of 3 days that week. It just means that I will not work that Saturday. So these aren't always guaranteed, but most of the time when I request a day off, I don't have to work on that day. So the schedule coordinator wouldn't know, oh, Alexis needs this day off for some reason. So instead of putting her on Saturday, I would try to put her on the other 3 days that she requested. Also, when you're making your schedule, you can request education days. So if I sign up for a PALS class or a BLS, something like that, I will put education on that day, and then the schedule coordinator will know that I'm taking a class or something like that, and she won't put me on for that day. And speaking of requests off, we're only allowed to do 4 each 6-week period that we're making our schedule. So you can't just request off, as many times as you want. You're only allowed to use 4 each time you make your schedule. I actually made my schedule yesterday. Yesterday was Thursday, so I set my alarm to 7:55 so I wouldn't oversleep and miss out on all of the good days. So once 8 o'clock hits, the schedule opens and you get to see all of the available days. So each day has a specific number of nurses that it needs to be filled up. You can choose either night shift or day shift. Of course, if you're a new grad, you have to rotate for the first year, but I have passed that 1 year and now I'm able to choose whether or not I want to do day shift, night shift, or continue to rotate. So I chose to do night shift because I just really like night shift. I did night shifts when I did my preceptorship in the NICU and I really liked it, and just the vibe at night is just so much different. It's something I really like, plus you get paid more, night shift differential, so it's like, why not? I mean, I don't have to be home, taking care of kids or pets, so I chose night shifts. So as I was saying, once the schedule opens up, you can choose whatever days you want, whether it's day shift or night shift, depending on your requirements, and you just have to make sure that you fulfill all of your requirements. So for me, when I double check my schedule after I make it, I make sure that I have my 3 Mondays, my 3 Fridays, and my 6 weekend shifts. So once I have that clicked and everything is confirmed, you just wait a few days for the schedule to be published. So just because you request certain days, it does not mean that you're going to get those days. So let's say I sign up for a Monday. I want to work that Monday. Well, if there aren't enough nurses on Tuesday and she needs to move some people around, I may get moved to Tuesday just to balance the schedule out even more. However, before nurses are moved to days that they don't want, we will typically get an email asking us to make some moves if we can to balance the schedule. Now, if we still are short in a few days, the schedule coordinator may just move you to whatever day she needs you moved on. This is why requests off are so important. So let's say I really needed that Tuesday off, I put a request off. So if she's short on that Tuesday still, instead of moving me, she'll move someone else who does not have a request off for that Tuesday. I hope that makes sense. So once the schedule is balanced and there's enough nurses for each day, the schedule will be published and then you can see what days you are signed up to work on. Also, you can see what days you were denied on. So let's say, back to that example that I signed up for a Monday, but she moved me to Tuesday. It will show the Monday that I selected, but it will say denied, and then it will show me on Tuesday for that shift that she moved me to. Also, once the schedule is published, let's say something randomly comes up, like your mom wants to come in town to visit you. So let's say I need a Thursday off because my mom's coming to town, but I'm supposed to work on that Thursday. Well, I can ask my coworkers or send some emails out and see if someone will switch for me. So I will say something like, hey, I really need Thursday off, but I'm scheduled to work that day. I will work your Friday shift if you work my Thursday shift. And if someone agrees to that, we can just make a shift. If someone agrees to that, we can just make a switch. So all we have to do is, there's a little booklet on the unit. We just sign up for the days that we need switched, and both employees have to initial, basically saying that they agreed to make the switch, and then the schedule coordinator will change it on your schedule. That is a basic overview of how we make our schedules. It's very simple, and most of the times I do get the days that I want. However, sometimes I don't, but you have to be understanding. You do need a certain number of nurses on each day, and if they are short, you just may get moved. One more thing that I do want to show you guys is how I plan my schedule. So when I know that the schedule is going to open up soon, I will pull out my phone and I will go to the calendar. So I just take a screenshot of whatever weeks I'm going to be using for my schedule, and then I just like to go to Snapchat, and so I just click on it and then I edit it. So when I'm editing it, I just pick a color and I just mark on whatever days that I want. So then I make sure I have all my requirements. So let's see, this is Monday, so I got 1 Monday, 2 Monday, 3 Mondays, and I also need 3 Fridays, so Friday, Friday, Friday. And then I need 6 weekend shifts, so Friday night, Saturday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and then Friday night, Saturday night. So that's all my requirements. So then I just keep this with me. And then if I want like a request off or a PTO, I'll also mark that in a different color. So then I just keep this with me when I'm making my schedule to make things go even quicker, so that way I don't have to remember everything on my own. I have this right in front of me. Alright guys, so I'm editing this video and I completely forgot to mention that obviously when I'm making my schedule, if I want a ton of days off, I will just group my days together. So let's say I just feel like going home, spend some time with my family who lives in a different state. So if I want a good chunk of days off, I just make my schedule for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of one week, and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of the next week. So that covers my 3 shifts that I need for each week, and it gives me 7 days in a row off, all without having to touch my PTO. Now, if I don't want a lot of days off like that, and I'm just chilling at home, staying in town, not going out of town, then I usually make my schedule where I work 2 days in a row, and then maybe I'm off for like between 1 or 3 days in a row. So let's say I will work Sunday and Monday, and then I don't go back to work until Thursday. That gives me a little break in between. So sometimes I usually do my schedule like that. Or maybe I'll start off the week with working just Monday, and then I don't go back to work until Friday and Saturday. I really like how you can have, quite a few days off in between. Alright guys, so I just want to show you my schedule real quick. So this is from November, as you can see. I do have education days here on 11th and 12th. That's when I took my PAL certification. So before I could take those classes, I had to sign up for education on the schedule so they would know, because we do get paid for those. And then here's my PTO. I did 2 days that week. So that's when I had my 10-day vacation. As you can see, I worked on Sunday, and then I did not go back to work until Thursday. Also, you can see here on the 27th, I requested to work on that day, but it was denied. So I ended up getting switched to this Thursday. And then once again, you can see when I'm doing day shift, so 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., or when I'm doing night shift, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So this is when I worked my 5 days in a row, starting on this Thursday. And so yesterday, I just made my schedule for January through February, so you can see the available shifts in the lime green and the shifts that I signed up for in the darker green. So it's not blue yet because it hasn't been published. And then just some days that I requested off. Also in the lime green, the available shifts, it tells you how many nurses are needed for each shift. So it says 7 more are needed on this Sunday for day shift, and 2 more are needed on that Sunday for night shift. That is pretty much it for this video. I hope that you found it helpful and that you have a lovely day. I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!